Welcome, friends, it's the MovieFilm Podcast. MovieFilm Podcast, enjoy the show. Zaki, Sean, and Ryan are talking about movies. MovieFilm Podcast on the radio.
Welcome to MovieFilm. This is episode 26, brought to you by Mr. Boy Productions. My name is Zaki Hassan, and I'm joined, as always, by my good friends Brian Hall.
Hey there, everybody.
And Sean Coyle.
Ocean breeze soap. It's just like taking an ocean cruise, only there's no boat and you don't actually go anywhere.
What is that?
That sounds so familiar.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't tell you if you guys think you know it. Come on.
Yeah, I got nothing.
Yeah. I got nothing.
The Muppets Take Manhattan.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Dude, I wouldn't have guessed that. Okay.
It's when Amnesia Kermit's in the advertising agency
Right.
with the other frogs. And they're going over slogans for the soap.
That's hilarious.
Nice.
So, guys, what's going on? What's new? Sean?
Me?
Yes.
I go first?
You can.
Shawnosaurus
All
Rex.
right.
What's up?
Well, my wife and I actually just moments ago, we finally finished Friday Night Lights.
The series.
For all 5 seasons.
Wow.
Yes.
End of an era.
And?
It's quite wonderful.
Yeah.
Anybody out there who has not really sunk their teeth into that particular series, it is well worth your time.
Really?
It's just great. It's a great show. Admittedly, the first season when it starts, it kind of doesn't know what kind of show it wants to be, because I think when it was conceived to be more of like almost like a WB teen drama kind of thing.
Sure.
And then they really find their footing as just an all-around show about people. Mm-hmm. And everybody in this show is an underdog in some way. And it's like you root for everybody and you feel great about yourself. you just like feel great when at the end of every episode.
Did it have a fitting conclusion?
Oh my God, the finale was perfect.
Really? All right.
Absolutely
You're making
perfect. Yeah.
That's one of those shows on my list.
Yeah.
So
it's when I say like you feel good at the end, it's not like every episode is uplifting necessarily.
Right.
But you get so attached to these characters and their journey and the decisions they make. And what's great about the show is that, it's like real life where like the good guy doesn't always win, and sometimes bad people do get away with things.
Right.
But also it really does preach, that you have to take ownership and responsibility for your actions, and there's consequences for the decisions people make. It's not like, Hollywood land of make-believe kind of thinking where it's just like, we'll just gloss over.
Nice little bow.
Yeah, there's consequences for everything, and certain characters, you don't want things to happen to them that happen to them, but you're just like, well, they asked for it, so this is...
Huh. Nice. How many seasons is it? I feel overwhelmed when I want to start something.
No, it's 5 seasons, but the last 3 are only 13 episodes.
Oh, right. I remember that.
They
were on Comcast or something for a while.
Yeah, it was like not DirecTV, but something
like that. Maybe it was.
It was like a co-funding thing. So the last 3 seasons are only 13 episodes.
That helps.
Yeah, it goes by.
Cool. Yeah, well, I'm gonna check that out.
Plus, it has Connie Britton.
Yes,
it does.
My old flame, as we established a couple episodes
As we established already.
That's right. Yeah.
And Brian, you're broadcasting to us from Chicago.
Yeah, Wheaton, Illinois specifically. I'm in the bedroom I grew up in, visiting my folks and hanging out with for some relaxation time.
So this is
and,
kind of
happy I'm still able to join. What's that?
This is kind of a bittersweet trip for you, isn't it? A little bit.
Yeah, my parents are planning on moving this year, and so I'm sure I'll make it out here at least one more time. But yeah, this is sort of a one last picture of the mailbox.
That's so.
One last picture
even
of
the
the
fact that
sidewalk
you're saying,
sort of trip.
Even the fact that you're saying one more time, like I'll make it out here one more time. Like,
yeah,
it's like the end of an era,
Yeah, it is. It is, and I have to say, I mean, personally, with the 3 of us, I actually passed the College of DuPage the other day, which is where we all met.
Yeah.
Wow.
So long time ago.
Pretty cool.
Wow. This is one of the things about getting older is that we're reaching that stage where we start shutting some of these doors. It's Wow.
Yeah, but I like being out here. It's been a lot of fun.
And
Yeah,
on a
sure,
related
yeah.
note, if anybody knows where Brian lives in Los Angeles area, know that he's not there. So the code for his building is
Yeah, grab his stuff.
Fortunately, my roommate, who is very strong and not one to negotiate with,
but he's so
is still
polite
there.
and accommodating.
There you go.
He's so polite and accommodating, and just be like, "Yeah, sure." Oh, Brian said you could borrow
not?
his
Come on,
PlayStation. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, as we do each and every week, we try to start things off with listener letters, and we have one this week. This is from Greg. And he says, guys, as always, great show. I especially liked your Man of Steel episode. I think I liked your conversation more than the movie.
Wow.
Seriously, wasn't the chaos at the end just a little too much? I was pretty disappointed, and I was hoping for a lot. Is it maybe that we've just gotten too used to superhero movies? Are we at burnout level with them? Would love to hear your take. So are we now at superhero burnout? Because we've reached a point where we have 3 or 4 superheroes every summer, and now they're spreading out all over the year. Is it just too much? Are we going to see the end of this trend very shortly?
No.
I don't think anytime soon, but I can certainly relate. I think to the fatigue of. I mean, I hate to say superhero just as in the broad sense, but definitely in the format that they all seem to be following, which I think we've talked about just a little bit. But I mean, all the stakes are usually the same. The setups are usually the same. A lot of these are origin stories. Even when, it's the 4th Spider-Man movie in 10 years, it's still a freaking origin story.
Right.
So, I mean,
right.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be nice to see them break outside of the box a little bit.
So now, Brian, you're somebody who really did not grow up with superhero movies the same way, or superhero, like, just mythologies, in comics and whatnot.
Yeah, not like you guys, yeah.
Yeah, I think me and Sean are more along that. But what would you say have been your, like, Hall of Shame, superhero movies in the last, say, 5 years?
Well, I didn't like Amazing Spider-Man very much, and again, it's not that it was a bad movie. Like, if it was just that one on its own, maybe I would have really liked it. But it just felt so unnecessary.
Yeah,
and all the stakes were familiar, and it just didn't feel like I was seeing anything that was worth watching.
Now, is that something that you would have felt even if it wasn't an origin story?
Again, I don't know. I mean, with what Greg said about Man of Steel, it is sort of interesting, and I've read this in a couple places where people are pointing out how the end stakes of these films are all very, very familiar. The world in peril, and it's like it can't just be a city under siege. Now it has to be these huge global consequences and massive, massive destruction.
Right.
And after a while, then it starts to feel less important because we've sort of seen it before and we know what's going to happen. And I think scaling back just a little bit and putting a little more focus in the stories, I think would help.
Yeah. Well, I watched Man of Steel again this past weekend, and I went with the wife, and she was basically, by the end, she was just beaten into submission by all the noise and the...
Yeah. You're fatigued by that point.
Yeah, and she herself was like, they could have just, like, cut out this part here and this part here, and it would have made the ending more effective. And she was making those kinds of observations. And it's definitely, I liked the movie just as much the second time, but I can definitely see that point of view where it's just, at some point, it's just a fight is a fight is a fight.
Yes. I totally agree. So I think, I mean, I'm not tired of these characters, but I would like to see them in stories that feel different from one another and not just insert this hero into the same sort of template. Yeah.
Yeah, the other thing I think about is the how well they play visually. We were talking about Green Lantern just now, and obviously that's kind of the punching bag right now of all these modern movies. And, part of, I think, the reason that Green Lantern failed is because his powers, when you manifest them on the screen, they're kind of lame.
Right, right.
I mean, he shoots green splooge at you, basically.
Yeah.
It's, or he makes lame stuff. I mean, because I was watching that on HBO recently, and that movie just does not hold up.
Yeah.
Sean, did you ever?
I haven't
watching
seen it since the theater.
Green Lantern?
Yeah, Green Lantern doesn't hold up while you're watching it for the first time.
Poor Ryan Reynolds. Poor Ry Ray. I don't know if people call him that, but I'm going to start that if they're not.
Get it started.
You know what?
Yeah.
Though, for as much as we sort of picked apart the last Dark Knight film, that did something that none of these other superhero movies really do, where you're not sure what's going to happen to the hero. You know, like Iron Man 3, it's like, yeah, the stakes are high, but like, you know, nothing's going to happen to Iron Man. You know, like Superman, you know, Superman's going to be fine by the end of the movie. But with Dark Knight, it was like, well, it was kind of a ballsy decision to, fake kill off Bruce Wayne. So that's something that I would like to see them explore more in some of these movies.
To fake kill off Bruce Wayne.
Well, basically, like have
it would have been ballsy.
But it did fake me out. I mean, I didn't.
The Avengers movie, like have the balls to kill off the Hulk or the Thor or somebody at the end of the next movie. Obviously, bring them back, in part 3 or part 4, whatever you want to do. But like, you know what I'm saying? Like, just shake it up.
Right.
It's
have an Empire Strikes Back.
Exactly. It's pointless to have the stakes.
Like, leave us on a cliffhanger.
It's pointless to raise the stakes so high if you're not gonna push it over the edge, so to speak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so Greg, I guess that answers some of that, and obviously we'll be talking about more of these movies as they come out. So I'm sure we'll have plenty to say. Moving on to new releases, we've got Pacific Rim to talk about later in the episode, and we'll also be talking about The Lone Ranger, which Brian has seen. But Sean, I believe you saw The Heat?
Yeah, I get to participate in something this week.
That's exciting.
Yes, I saw The Heat.
I'm really curious about this. I can't wait to hear you guys talk about it. I have not seen The Heat.
I saw it. I saw it with the wife, and we laughed a lot, and that was kind of it. It's, it is what it is. It's very, very paint by numbers. You see
right.
Every plot point and every twist and turn coming a mile away. But it's a showcase for Melissa McCarthy to do her thing, and Sandra Bullock, and they're great together. The two of them I thought were great together. There's really nothing. It's not like deep enough to critique with a fine tooth comb.
Right.
Like that.
Well, then is it funny? I mean, coming from this is the follow up to Bridesmaids.
Oh yeah, it's funny.
It
is funny. Overall, I think Bridesmaids is
right.
considerably better, for sure. But if you're a fan of Melissa McCarthy,
right.
you're gonna.
What
love
if you're not a fan of Melissa McCarthy?
Then you're gonna probably find it annoying because she's in like every single scene.
It's incredibly like Sean, like you said, it's very paint by numbers. The characters are about a centimeter deep.
Yeah.
All the arcs are very predictable.
Yeah.
And Sean, I don't know about you, but I predicted who the bad guy was pretty much as soon as he was introduced.
Yeah. I actually had this written down very specifically so that I didn't accidentally spoil it. But there is sort of like a whodunit aspect of the movie where you realize that basically there's a mole in the police force or the bureau or whatever. And what's interesting is that this movie is so jam-packed with characters that you're like, oh, it could be anybody. Like, there's so many different characters. It could be anybody. And it's so interesting. And who they pick as sort of like the twist, to tie into the twist bad guy sort of thing, you're just kind of like, oh.
Yeah.
Well,
no, really?
right.
I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want to say too much more because I don't want to ruin it for Brian. But
they don't work at
you're going to be able to
CTU,
figure it
do
out
they?
while watching it, Brian. So.
Yeah, Brian. Yeah. The highlights for me, there's the tracheotomy scene.
Oh yeah, that tracheotomy scene was so
tracheotomy
so
scene.
bonkers.
I know.
The highlight for me was the tracheotomy scene. That sounds very funny.
Well, so basically, Brian, Sandra Bullock and Melissa McCarthy are at a Denny's, and this guy starts like choking, and
Okay.
so Sandra Bullock's like his airway is constricted, so she grabs a knife and she like cuts a hole in his throat and jabs a straw down there, and there's like blood gushing out.
Yeah.
And this whole thing, and she's like, because she's like, oh, I saw this documentary about how to do a tracheotomy.
Yeah.
And it turns out there's like bread lodged in his mouth, basically. But what the button on that scene is that the paramedics come, and the paramedic is just like, hey, I got a scratch on my arm. Do you want to amputate it? It's probably one of the
I
funniest
want
things
to
I've seen
see a good
recently.
comedy. I want to go laugh. So I'm hoping I find it funny.
It's nothing really original, but they're really good together.
They're a good team. Would you watch the sequel, which of course they're inevitably planning because the thing's already made $100 million?
Yeah, for sure. I would watch the sequel.
Yeah.
You know,
and Tom Wilson was in it.
Yeah, Biff. Biff from
Yeah, I
Back to
remember
the
him from the
Future.
trailers. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, it's nice to just see Biff again, you know?
Yeah.
Another new release that's out right now is The Way, Way Back. And this is kind of a little mini-budget film that not that many people have seen, and it's one of those movies that you wouldn't necessarily make time to go see, but I would definitely recommend it. It's written and directed by Nat Faxon and Jim Rash, and it stars Steve Carell, it stars Sam Rockwell, Rob Corddry's in there, Amanda Peet, etc. It's a coming-of-age story about this kid who spends basically his summer with his mom's boyfriend's friends or whatever, and he ends up meeting Sam Rockwell, who's this guy who works at a water park, and it kind of changes his life. And you know, I call this movie a Marco movie. And you guys will appreciate this because all three of us were in film class at College of DuPage, which you mentioned earlier, Brian, with Marco Bonassi, who's a professor there. He's still a professor there. And we had a class called Movie Magic, where every Monday night we'd go watch movies at the local AMC or whatnot. And, you know, we'd watch some of the bigger budget, like blockbuster type movies, but then we'd also see these little movies, kind of like The Way, Way Back, that we wouldn't normally have seen, but we were glad to have seen.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There were a few bad movies that he picked too, but we won't focus on those. But this is like the quintessential Marco movie. You know, I had an absolute blast with this, and you know, Sam Rockwell is who I've always liked as a performer. I mean, he's so good in this movie. Just fantastic. So I had a chance to talk to Jim Rash and Nat Faxon. Jim Rash, of course, is Dean Pelton on Community, which is one of our shows that we enjoy and which is coming back with its original creator. Mm-hmm. So I got to talk to the two of them about what it's like working together, what it was like to make this movie, and what it's like to have Community coming back.
Well, first of all, thank you so much for taking the time to meet with me. This is the film, for me personally, it touched a lot of chords, which I expect it's doing with a lot of people, because the notion of the coming of age experience, everyone has one like this, and I think the specificity of this made it strike kind of a universal chord. Mm-hmm. For Jim, I read in the notes that it started with the first scene of the film started with an experience you had. I was wondering if you could expound on how you found the kernel of a story in that experience.
Yeah, it's true. We went into this with two things. You know, we had a fondness for water parks and going to them, and growing up on the East Coast and destination vacations and all the things that come with that and the connection to that. But then we had this sort of story that I had shared with Nat that was pretty much verbatim what you see in the very beginning of the movie, in which my stepfather and I had that conversation in a station wagon on our way to our summer vacations in Michigan. We would go every year. In our second year maybe going, he had this conversation where he asked me what I thought I was on a scale from 1 to 10, and I said 6, thinking above average, and he said 3, and then went on to say pretty much what Trent said, which is, in his mind, this great lesson. You know, his mind was, I'm telling you to go out and meet people and take advantage of your summer, you know, not stick around your mom and me all the time, you know. And I think that, you know, the kernel that stuck out with me looking back on it was, when you think of a quintessential moment for a coming of age, you think of an inciting incident like that and like this sort of challenge, and it presented itself with a great way for us to sort of launch our character and almost immediately connect to who our protagonist was, and also to do it in sort of a surprising way, as far as like having this against type performance from Carell and sort of launching us into this trajectory for him. And for me, I knew this was a cathartic moment for me when we were using it, but also looking back on it. And I think that's the test of a litmus test for a good, you know, launching point for the movie.
Ideally, yeah. Now, who is the Owen in your lives? Who, because we see how
Each other.
Okay.
Well, I think you're more Duncan than I'm Owen. I had an older cousin, Josh, that was, a mentor for me when I was a kid, and I remember definitely making the transition from little cousin, boy to come along with me and, hang with me and my friends and do the, be included in different parties and, surf trips and things like that. So I certainly remember that transition, and as far as the movie, it was really, the template we thought of was Bill Murray from Meatballs.
Oh, interesting.
And, sort of, and when we thought of who today, sort of best represents that, we thought of Sam Rockwell, so.
Well, the movie ended, and I was just like, I want to be buddies with Sam Rockwell. I want Sam Rock. Like, I don't, not even Owen, Sam Rockwell.
Yeah,
Right?
no. And if you meet Sam Rockwell,
You
you
do.
would want him to be your buddy, because he is very personable and very extroverted in the sense that he just really feeds off people and takes them in, and is very affectionate. It's like all the things that you would hope for.
You would hope, yeah.
He makes them come
I'm
true.
very thoughtful, too, I think he's very, which comes across, I think, in the movie, in
Absolutely.
the sense that he's very charismatic, but it's very grounded and real, and Sam is very much that way, I think, as a person in general, too, where it doesn't feel like this false, I'm going to be your best friend, here we are, it's very, I don't know, there's a depth and caringness to him as a person, which I think he really taps into for this part.
Well, and just to pick up on what you just said, the notion of it, of very grounded and real, I mean, I think that informs the film in general, and that's something that I really glommed onto, was that the characters are not cookie cutter. They're not, I mean, even Trent, who's arguably the antagonist, you can't help but want to like him.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously part of that is Steve Carell, because we love Steve Carell. But I mean, specifically what I'm thinking of is the moment when Duncan overhears Trent, and when he's talking to Amanda Peet, he overhears him saying,
Yeah.
"Get away,"
Yeah.
not. And I thought that was a very interesting choice where you guys decided to add that level of complexity. And I'm wondering, was this part of the resistance you faced when you was trying to get the movie made, where studios probably want something more broad and sort of easily broken down?
Well, speaking to the character design of Trent, I don't know if that totally answers that piece of it, but it was important for us to have that moment on the side of the house, in the sense that we always imagine that he's this imperfect person, this tragic sort of male character who proclaims what he wants, but he has he's unable to obtain it. His actions don't speak to that. And even in that moment, he's stuck in this sort of vicious cycle where he knows he's making a mistake, and I think that what makes him sympathetic. You're like, you need to change, you need to evolve, you're going to be alone.
Yeah, it was really more about finding actors that had I think, like Steve, for example, who had the courage to understand that there was no huge lesson for Trent at the end of the movie, that he is this tragic male character. And I think, it takes someone, to branch out a little bit and to tackle something like that,
Right.
And I think, so it's more about having actors, I think, that are courageous enough to play those parts.
Well, I was wondering if you could elaborate on your own process as collaborators, both in terms of writing and directing. I mean, how does the byplay work between the two of you?
Well, on the writing side of things, which we've had, a much more experience doing together, I think for us, we're not really a divvy up group. We don't, go off and separate ourselves, and you take that and I'll take that, and we'll reconvene, after that scene's written. We're more often in the certainly early stages together, as far as breaking the story and the outline, the treatment and stuff, and improvising our way through story, and even in the rewriting of scenes. I think it's fun to be a part of that, sort of coming from my improv background. And as far as directing, I think, again, we just worked in tandem because we were friends and before writing partners, and writing partners before directors. So they all sort of went hand in hand, and I think we just operated as a team. We would confer, and one would go and speak to the actors, take turns doing that, so we didn't inundate them with both of our nasally voices and we just approached it as we have been actors first, and sort of we knew this story, we know these characters, we know how to talk about the intention of all these scenes with our fellow actors, and give them the trust and respect that we would want for ourselves, and we went from there.
Wow. Last question, Jim, were you as surprised as the fans to know that Community was coming back?
Yeah, I don't think I've ever been like fully sure we're coming, back. We've always been on the bubble. I think we've born on the bubble, and I was pleasantly surprised because I knew it could go either way, especially when NBC cleaned house. When I saw that Parks was picked up, it's like, that made sense to me. So very happy, but then obviously beyond elated that Dan and Chris.
So that's official.
That is official.
Oh, great.
Yeah, I think they're already wheels spinning. I think their deals are closed and we're moving forward. So
wow.
So it'll be exciting.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
Well, good luck with the film.
Thank you
Again,
very much.
I'm spreading the word. I think it's fantastic.
Oh,
Thank
good.
you.
Thank you, man.
So,
Yes.
Great. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you. So
Take
much.
care.
Alrighty. So I hope you guys get a chance to check that movie out. It's well worth your time. I enjoyed it quite a bit.
Yeah.
It spent time on the blacklist, which is of course the famous.
Right. And the Heat as well was on the blacklist.
Ah.
Oh, really? I did not know that. There you go.
But I'm sure it was completely thrown out, and they just let Melissa McCarthy say whatever she wanted.
Yeah, well, that's if you remember what my interview with Paul Feig last week, that's what he basically said.
Yeah.
Was they didn't treat they treat the script as important, but they also let scenes play out. And you definitely get
Going
that
back
sense.
to the way back. I don't know if you remember this, Brian, but a few years ago we saw a group of us saw the Groundlings perform around Christmas time. And do you remember that he was part of the troupe at that time? Jim Rash.
Yes, he was in the funniest sketch of the whole night.
Is that right?
I remember. Yeah, he was so funny.
Yeah, and I don't know. So in a weird way, I feel like I've been a part of his sort of rise to fame, because it was just, and it all happened so quick, because it was like, oh, that guy's really funny, and then all of a sudden Community was out, and it's like, holy crap, they're that guy again.
Well, and then Zaki and I went to a coffee
that's
shop one
right.
time when he was out here visiting in Santa Monica, and he sat next to us, and he was working on a screenplay. Could have been this.
That's
and
hilarious.
I just have this feeling like he's weaved himself into my life in this sort of, distant way, and I think someday, I'm gonna be in an overturned car, and the door is gonna rip off, and it'll be Jim Rash, and it'll be like, "You're gonna be all right."
Will he be shirtless in this fantasy, Brian?
Well, if all plays out according to plan.
Maybe. Fingers crossed.
Speaking of Community, did you guys hear how Donald Glover is supposedly only going to be in 5 episodes?
I did hear
this
Really?
coming
yeah.
season.
No, I didn't hear
Only
that. Why?
5 out of
That's
13. He
Trying
wants
to-
to concentrate on
because he
his
wants to
movie
focus
career.
on his music.
Yeah. Or his music career, excuse me. Yeah.
He's pretty important to that show too. It's not.
Yeah, he and Abed are the heart of that show for sure.
Yeah, nothing against Jim Rash, but you could easily lose Dean Pelton from that show, and you wouldn't miss much.
Right.
But Troy, it's like.
Well, so are you guys not feeling it, even though Dan Harmon, the creator, is coming back?
No, I'm willing to
Well-
to go back. I drifted this last season, so
Yeah.
I'm willing to check it out again.
Yeah.
Sean?
No, I was going to make a really obscure reference, but maybe I won't.
Okay.
If anybody out there remembers the show Wings,
As it happens, Sean, I was watching an episode of Wings about an hour and a half ago.
all right.
What the?
Yeah. So there you go.
All right.
Well, at
This
the
is,
beginning,
right now. Just to contextualize, it's Ramadan right now, which is when Muslims fast. We fast from sunrise to sunset. And part of my Ramadan routine, and I don't know why, is that after I break my fast, I watch Wings,
Nice.
and I fall asleep.
What season?
Right now, I'm watching season 7 of Wings.
So that's the season I was going to mention, because by
Wow.
episode 4
What?
of season 7,
What's going on?
That's hilarious.
in season 7, at the beginning of season 7, the character of Lowell, played by Thomas Hayden Church, who went on to bigger and better things, he leaves the show. He gets written out of the show because at the time he was sort of like a hot commodity, and he ended up doing this his own show called Ned and Stacy,
Which
which
was
is terrible.
terrible.
Yeah, but you realize that when he left the show, it's like with Cheers and Community and Wings and all these kind of shows and Seinfeld, like everybody has their purpose to the show and what they add to the dynamic.
Right.
And when you take something like that away, like in the case of Wings, the character of Lowell was kind of like the weirdo character. And when he left...
And the new mechanic wasn't quite the same.
Yeah, the new mechanic wasn't quite the same. And then they sort of tried to make the Tony Shalhoub character of Antonio play more of the weirdo role. And you just realize that, like, just taking away that one piece threw the dynamic of the whole show off. And the last two seasons, even though I was a huge fan of that show, the last two seasons you can just really feel that it's something different and not as special.
It's kind of like episodes of this show when one of you guys aren't here. That's right.
Yeah.
The same thing could happen with Community. You take away Donald Glover, it's like who's gonna?
Well, they've already taken away Chevy Chase.
Yeah, well, you could tell last season that they didn't know, even when he was around, they didn't know what they were supposed to do with him.
Yeah.
Yes. He is always just like 4 lines or less.
The old
the
idiot,
episode.
the racist idiot.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys paid attention, but it got awkward last season how they would cut away to him and then they would cut back and it would clearly be a different white-haired guy from the back.
Right.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. When they did the flashback
wow.
episode, right? Is that the one you're thinking of, Sean?
Yeah, they did a lot of stuff like that with Chevy Chase last season.
Yeah. Well, I'm the eternal optimist. I'm still hoping for a strong. I'm assuming this is the final season. I don't know, of Community, because I do really love that show. So
Yeah.
fingers crossed. We'll see what happens with that.
One more thing, Zaki. One more thing. I know we're trying to keep the show going. One more thing. I'll keep it real quick. Is anybody aware of the weird hype that this Shark Tornado movie got?
Sharknado, you mean?
On
I think
Sci-Fi
this
Channel?
is worth talking about, actually, because I saw, maybe a week ago, there was a trailer for it, and I was like, oh, that's funny, but I breezed over it. And now a week later, I thought it was something that was coming out later this year or whatever, and now there's articles about it all day today about how it just blew up on Twitter. It was this crazy little phenomenon.
You know what, though? I watched about 10 minutes of it. It's awful.
Yeah?
It's...
Yeah.
I thought you were about to say that it was fun.
It's crap.
Okay.
It's total crap. But...
Well, yeah, but intentionally so, right? Like, it's not even, like, good
it's
crap?
called Sharknado. I mean, I don't think they're trying to be...
No. Like, that's the thing with these sci-fi movies. Like, they're really onto something with these weird combo title, like, Sharktopus and Gator Cow or whatever the movies are called.
Yeah.
But, like...
I would watch that.
Gator Cow.
Gator Cow.
If they were smart, they would treat these straight up like bad B movies. And I think where these movies fail is that the characters, the actors, the characters in the movie, the actors in the movie, everybody takes it too seriously.
Get out of here.
But isn't that what makes it good?
What's that?
Like, isn't that what makes it good? Like, seeing Tara Reid try to, like, genuinely act in a
I was
movie
about to
called
say,
Sharknado?
yeah.
No, because then it's like, it's just like watching porn without the boobies. It's like, it's that quality of acting, but like nothing happens.
That's a fascinating metaphor, Sean.
I'm really having a hard time wrapping my head around that one.
But-
wait.
They should
all
put
right,
that
go
on the poster, porn without the boobies.
Well, I saw the poster. The tagline actually is literally "Enough said."
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, you can't watch a movie called Sharknado and not, like, I mean, you get what you're promised.
But like my thing is that like they are so close to something that could potentially be like really, really great in a totally stupid way. But they're
Like Snakes on a Plane.
yes, it could be like Snakes on a Plane to me was a bit of a disappointment, but that's a lot closer to where these movies could be.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like they need to be more tongue in cheek. They need to be even more, I guess, a little bit like that Piranha 3D movie, how it was just ridiculous and stupid, but it's camp.
Right.
It's got to be like good
Right.
B movie camp, and these, like, they think they're acting in something, way more important than what it is.
I think I sort of get what you're saying. Like, there really isn't any winking going on.
right. And these
right.
these
Well-
movies are close. They're close to being something like that. Like I'm saying, get like Bruce Campbell to star in one of these movies. Somebody who could make it
I think I'm starting to
make it
understand
more
what
like
you're
that
saying now.
Bubba Hotep-y kind of feeling. Make it feel like more of like a Robert Rodriguez movie or something, I guess, too. Like it's cheap and it's indie,
Like
but it's
Grindhouse.
cool. It's still cool and weird, and and fun.
Well, sci-fi is obviously tapped into something because people are
Yeah.
watching these movies and tweeting about them, and on my Facebook wall all day I saw people
Yeah.
talking about this. So.
I feel like Sci-Fi Channel at some point they reached a fork in the road because they were like, we can air things like Battlestar Galactica that get critical acclaim
Right.
and Peabody Awards and respect, or we can go, Sharktopus and Gator Cow,
yeah,
and they
you guys-
pretty much
What would you guys name your sci-fi movie?
Brian Shawn.
Oh, Brian Shawn.
Crush, kill, destroy.
That's right.
Pandasaurus. That Pandasaurus would be cool.
Pandasaurus.
Yep.
I wouldn't mind that.
Yeah, it'd be cuddly, but lethal.
It'd be cuddly but deadly.
Yeah.
Cuddly Deadly, who is a sidekick of Bozo on the WGN show, by the way. Cuddly
Deadly. Oh yeah.
Well, there you go. There's an assignment for our audience. Next show for listener letters, people should chime in on our Facebook wall or to our email. Chime in with your own made-up sci-fi
Combo
channel
monster
title.
movie.
Yeah, yeah, we'll read them on the air.
There we go.
Yeah, the title and a
Homework.
tagline. Yeah,
A tagline,
Yes.
exactly.
nice.
Alrighty, so moving on to Hollywood headlines. Now, last episode, I sang the praises of The Lone Ranger, which I thought was big, dumb fun. I had a blast with it, and based on the reaction of every single other critic in America but me, this movie shit in every single one of their mouths. Because that's the only explanation for how this thing opened to $30 million over the Friday to Sunday period. It has like a 24% on Rotten Tomatoes with the critics. So this thing is just a disaster across the board. And literally all weekend I got messages and IMs and Facebooks from people saying basically, really? As if they wanted me to take back my positive review. Now, we'll talk in just a second about why this thing is proving to be such a catastrophe, because I certainly have my thoughts. But Brian, you saw The Lone Ranger.
I did,
and I'd love to discuss it with you because I haven't had a chance to. So, what are your thoughts on it?
I went into this with an open mind. I was ready to just go into a big, fun Western, and it was big. No, my brother and I. It's funny because I leaned over as soon as it was over, and he said exactly what I was thinking in my mind. And I go, "Did you like it?" And he goes, "The last 30 minutes." And that's exactly my grade. I was like, the first 2 hours, because it's 2 hours and 30 minutes.
Wow.
Yes.
The first 2 hours, I think I'd give like a C, and the last 30 minutes, I'd give it an A.
Okay.
I mean-
now, why is that? Explain that.
The last 30 minutes made me realize everything that wasn't working before for me. After this huge, long, diverting journey, finally, it kicks into gear. Armie Hammer, becomes the Lone Ranger and gets on his horse. The William Tell Overture starts playing, and there's this big train set piece, and it's just rousing, fun adventure. And the music totally kicked butt, like the William Tell Overture. Like, it made me realize that I hadn't even thought once about the music that came before. It didn't excite me. It didn't do anything for me. But this old song, I was like, yeah, here we go.
Nice.
And the action is, a little over the top, but it's really well staged. It's really almost classical feeling. It's people, going from train to train, and ladders falling from this thing, so this other thing rises up in the air, and people close misses, and
It's very well choreographed.
very well choreographed and really fun. It felt very fun, and so it made me step back and be like, well, what wasn't I feeling in the first 2 hours? And I think a lot of that was the Lone Ranger didn't feel very heroic. I mean, 2/3 into the he's sort of a reluctant hero. He starts off as this lawyer who won't handle a gun and seems like he'd be afraid of spiders, kind of a wimpy sort of guy. And so you're like, okay, he's going to step into this role. But it takes a really long time to step into the hero role. Like, even 2/3 into the film, there's this scene where he and Tonto are buried up to their necks.
Right.
And they've been through a lot together. And the Lone Ranger gets out of it, and then he just leaves. He leaves Tonto. and the only reason he comes back is because he needs directions. And I was
Right.
like, really? Still? He's still not a hero? Like, I mean, I just, it seemed like this movie was sort of shooting to be subversive
Right.
or something, and it just seemed like this was the perfect movie to not feel the need to play into that. Like, no, let's have like a square-jawed hero who saves the damsel in distress and has his trusty sidekick. And I didn't mind the beefed-up Tonto role. I thought Johnny Depp was fine, but I don't know. It just felt very aimless for a very long time. And I was saying, movies don't just come together. I mean, you don't just shoot a movie and cut it together and it is the way it is. I mean, it takes a long time to pare it down, whittle it down, rework, readjust, put this thing over here. And I felt like this movie, I would love to hand this 2.5-hour movie to an editor and say, make this 1 hour and 50 minutes.
Interesting.
And I feel like it would have worked a little bit better for me. Like the moment where they were stuck up to their necks, and then all of a sudden these scorpions are crawling over their faces, and I was like, I don't care. Like I'm ready to just sort of move on with the plot and see him get on his horse and save the day. And it felt like there was my dad actually said this. He said it felt like there was a lot of guys sitting around a table, and they all threw in these ideas that they thought they wanted to see, and they included all of them.
Well, and that's what happens when you are Jerry Bruckheimer and you are Gore Verbinski and you've made Disney billions of dollars. Nobody says no to you.
Yeah, and I think that's what it is I didn't hate it. I just felt like there was a really great movie that was drowning in the theatrical version that was released.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with that. And I said that last time, that it definitely it could have been trimmed a little bit. And it probably would have been stronger. I will say this: I went with my oldest son. We went and watched it, and I had been showing him old Lone Ranger cartoons in the weeks leading up, so he was familiar with the world and whatnot. And when it was over, he turned to me and he said, "Can we go see the next one?"
Oh, that's good. Good.
Yeah, but by then I already knew it was flopping. So I didn't.
Sorry, son.
I didn't have the heart to tell him. I just kicked him in the balls instead. I thought it'd be easier.
Wait, speaking of hearts, this movie has proved that the PG-13 rating means absolutely nothing.
Oh yeah, exactly.
The villain is a cannibal who cuts out a guy's heart and eats it in front of his brother.
Yeah. Although what's funny about that is I had told Hamza, I had told him beforehand, like, I'm going to tell you to close your eyes. You close your eyes, and it was for that scene specifically. But I realized after the fact that it probably would have been better to just let him see it, because what you hear is far worse.
Yeah, because to be fair, you don't technically see it. I mean, you see sort of a silhouette of it in the reflection of someone's eye.
It's
pretty horrifying. I mean, the guy turns around and dabs his mouth, his bloody mouth, with a handkerchief. And...
But if you're listening to it, it's you hear the blood squirting. Like I was realizing as I was covering his eyes, I was like, I might be scarring him more by doing this. It's kind of like I took him to see Raiders of the Lost Ark when they were playing that last year, and of course I had my Indiana Jones fedora with me, which I took as like the cover your eyes when the Ark opens. But so for his concept of Raiders of the Lost Ark is that Indiana Jones gets captured, and then a bunch of people scream, and then nothing happens. you know. So I'm curious what's going to happen when he actually sees what actually happens when the Ark is opened.
Yeah.
But I think that for me, when I saw this movie, I was like, oh, this thing is going to do great. It's going to be another like Pirates type movie. I was very surprised at how poorly it did.
Yeah.
Why did it do so badly? Because I don't think audiences would have picked up on all the points you made, Brian, until after they'd seen it. So I mean, how
exactly? Come... You have to go see it to do that. So why didn't they show up in the first place?
Yeah, I mean, is it just because nobody gives a crap about the Lone Ranger?
Possibly.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, you take whatever property. I mean, these old shows that you don't think kids would really care about, and you put a certain actor in there, and people tend to show up. I mean, they're making Pirates 5.
Yeah.
So people like Johnny Depp. So I don't know. They always say westerns are sort
People
of
like Johnny Depp as a pirate,
cursed, but
because that Dark Shadows movie tanked too, didn't it?
No, you know what? That's good. That's a
It
good
did well
point, yeah.
internationally.
Yeah, internationally, people like Johnny Depp. You're right.
Right.
What's sad is
But
that
you know how
this,
them
is probably,
foreigners are.
this is probably this is probably going to sour the industry on making westerns
Yeah.
Well, I think it'll sour the industry on making expensive westerns.
for sure. Yeah.
Yes.
And I will say this: there should never have been a situation where they spent $250 million on this movie.
Right.
No.
That is
never.
That's insanity.
Yeah.
I mean, we were talking about this last week with the Man of Steel, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where I made the same point where I was like, they spent $225 million or whatever. It's like that. If that's your basement, where's your ceiling?
Right.
Yeah.
And I read a great article by Scott Mendelson over at Forbes earlier this week, and he made the point that you can't spend Return of the King money on Fellowship of the Ring.
Right. Right.
And I think that about sums it up. I mean, I think where Disney screwed up is just the hubris of thinking that they were going to turn a profit, dropping that kind of money. And this isn't an isolated thing with them, because they did the same thing with John Carter last year.
Right.
So what is it with Disney?
Well, John Carter's a little bit easier to guess when you have this lead actor that nobody really knows and a property no one's familiar with. But I mean, yeah, Johnny Depp and cowboys, and it just seems I don't know. I mean, I don't know
They were
why
pushing that Pirates connection
people.
pretty
Well, and
hard.
and
Oh,
they
yeah,
were
what's
pushing
that?
that Pirates connection pretty
big time.
hard.
Yeah, and I mean, I forgot all about the vampire rabbits. So
Okay,
when
so
you have
so
CGI
the
vampire
cannibal
rabbits.
that was one thing that, and they never explained it, right, Brian?
that was so lame. Remember Crystal Skull? How stupid those CGI gophers were.
Yeah.
And it's like they kept showing them, and you're like, no, I don't want to see those stupid gophers again. Like there was these vampire rabbits.
No,
in this
they're
movie.
cannibal
Yeah.
rabbits.
Well, they had these like teeth. I mean, yeah, they weren't literally vampires.
Yeah.
Well, they sort of were actually.
I guess
mean,
they were. Yeah.
they ate other rabbits.
They
and
ate other
it was-
rabbits, yeah. But
Yeah,
when they
and
just
then-
kind of they hand wave it because Tonto's like, nature is out of balance,
Yeah,
and they keep
Yeah.
referring to that throughout the movie, right? But they never pay off what that means, the whole nature being out of balance.
Modern technology.
except they popped. Aren't they the last thing you see before the credits? Don't at the very end they show the rabbit again. I was like,
Yeah.
please stop.
Yeah, at the end, exactly. Well, Brian, if you remember, there's another thing in there, and I thought this was kind of interesting because it felt like a relic of the earlier drafts were much more heavily fantasy, and then they kind of paired. a
Oh
lot of
right,
that.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
Which-
I wonder if the cannibal rabbits are a remnant of that.
I possibly
Because-
and maybe a
well-
scale back because I thought there was like werewolves or something.
That's what
I
they
thought
had
I
said.
read in.
Remember? Yeah.
So
But
maybe this was like a scaled back version of that.
there's another thing in there, if you remember, where when Lone Ranger and Tonto are in the brothel,
Yeah.
and there's that piece of silver. Remember that?
Yes.
And Tonto's like, "Don't touch it, it's cursed." And then Lone Ranger
Right.
picks it up, and he has that vision. Remember?
Yeah.
Well, the curse, as the movie explains later, there is no actual curse. So what is he having a vision of?
I've sort of forgotten actually what he saw. In his
It's this
vision, but-
weird vision of like he sees himself turning evil and all this kind of thing, which has no bearing on anything before or after in the movie.
Yeah, I mean, there's just so much you could have dropped
Yeah.
from the movie, and it's interesting too is I hate these people that are like, yeah, certain cities or don't pay attention or aren't in tune with culture and stuff. But being in Los Angeles, it's very movie centric, and everybody has their finger on the pulse of these things to a degree. And so coming out here, I just sort of wondered, if people cared about these films or even followed some of the news that goes along with them. I mean, I know even the three of us are even more so to a degree than other people. But I both movies that I saw out here, I've seen Lone Ranger out here and Pacific Rim. I've heard people around me talking about reviews and a lot of movie news. And Pacific Rim specifically tonight saying, oh yeah, well, the review said this, but I thought that. And so maybe with Lone Ranger, people really did pay attention to the reviews.
The word of mouth actually did come into play.
Yeah.
Although I stand by the fact that I think the reviews went way over the top.
Yeah, I didn't read a whole ton of them, to be honest. I just saw sort of the gist of it. And again, maybe that's what other people did.
It feels to me like people were like, we After Earth didn't bomb as well as we would have liked. We need a new target. I don't know. I'm not going to say it's a great movie, but I definitely think that the hate is overblown. As I said last time, this is not Wild Wild West. This is not Jonah Hex.
No.
I would assume it'll play probably a little bit better on home video because you can fast forward through some of this stuff,
Yeah.
But what does this flop mean for Disney? What does it mean for Johnny Depp? Does it mean anything? Does this affect Johnny Depp's status as kind of a golden boy?
No.
I don't think so.
So people are still gonna.
Yeah, they're just gonna wait for him to do the thing that they like again,
which is
exactly 2015. Here we go.
Speaking of 2015, we've been talking about James Bond. We've been talking about whether or not Sam Mendes is going to be back to direct the next one, and it's now official. Sam Mendes will be back, and James Bond 24. Is it 24?
Yes.
24.
Oh, you know best.
James Bond 24 will be out in 2015, so we can add that to the year of the Nerdgasm.
That's a lot of numbers.
Yeah.
That's right. 24 in 2015.
Yeah.
So,
Cool.
as we mentioned last time, they're jamming as many movies into that clown car as they possibly can.
Yeah.
Now, other news. Now, we were just talking about Johnny Depp and his signature role. I actually meant to bring this up last time, but I just kind of got away from me. Robert Downey Jr. is officially back in the saddle or not in the saddle, I guess, back in the armor for as Tony Stark, but he will not be in Iron Man 4. Rather, he will be in Avengers 2 and 3 for what we can only assume is a very rich payday.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, the press release from Marvel took care to mention specifically Avengers 2 and 3 and no mention of Iron Man 4. So we can pretty much assume that they're not planning another solo Iron Man movie, at least with Robert Downey.
There's no need to.
I agree with that. After the last Iron Man movie, I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's what was so great about Avengers. I mean, they really did a good job of balancing all those characters out. I get the moments I enjoy with all of them in there, so they'll be
and the
maybe a little bit of less is more is good.
Now, how much money do you think they are backing up to his house to get him to do these two movies?
Yeah,
because he had him by the balls basically.
Yeah,
because he got something like $50 million for the Avengers.
Yeah. Well, I heard.
Wow.
So I
heard Scarlett Johansson's getting paid $20 million for Avengers 2.
I do not believe that for even 1 second.
No, look it up. I'm pretty positive.
I'm going to look that up right now.
It's crazy. I mean, as these movies keep going, I mean, you got a lot of people you got to pay.
But that role, I don't know. If you're demanding $20 million, if I'm the head of the studio, I'm kind of like, okay, we're just going to find somebody else to dress up in the black tights and red wig.
Okay, here we go. Scarlett Johansson's Avengers paycheck. Actress setting record with reported $20 million for sequel.
Kaboom.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Wow.
Yeah. Really?
For what?
I can maybe even understand that if that was for 2 and 3.
Right.
But just for one film, she's going to get $20 million?
And for that role? If they're paying the Black Widow $20 million, they'd better be paying Thor and Captain America like $40 million each.
Well, it's like hierarchy. It's like star hierarchy.
Yeah, but that makes no. See, Brian, I would disagree because it's about character hierarchy when it comes to the Avengers.
Well, but I mean in business sense, you want your actress who's been nominated for Oscars, you're gonna have to pay
I hear
her.
what you're saying though, but like you could easily just say like, okay, there's no Black Widow in Avengers 2. Nobody's gonna
I
care.
totally agree.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
You're not going to
That's
miss
the
her
point.
if she's not in it. Yeah.
If Captain America isn't in the Avengers, people will be more upset than if the Black Widow isn't.
Yeah.
That is insanity. Yeah. Wow, Sean, I wouldn't have believed that. Wow. All right.
You can't fight City Hall.
It's Chinatown, Jake.
When you reach into that pile of goo, that was your best friend's face.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's that one?
That's Homer trying to quote those lines.
That's Homer.
You reach into that pile of
gotcha.
goo, that was your best friend's face.
Regardless, we got James Cameron, Sean.
Who's that?
Well, he's this little indie filmmaker. He's
Okay.
kind of like Jim Rash and Nat Faxon a little bit.
Ah.
He makes these little indie character dramas.
No,
Uh,
yeah.
So
Kind of like humble attitude, heart of gold.
Yeah, he's very humble. He
Kinda
doesn't
guy.
think of himself as the king of the world or anything comparable to that.
What was the movie?
So, now we-
Tasker in
we-
the Marigold Hotel or something like that? I like that one.
And then Marigold Hotel.
Exotic Terminator salmon fishing in the Yemen. I don't know.
Yeah.
It should have been. That should have been the name. I want him to direct the Austrian and the Samoan.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now we were complaining a few weeks ago about how he has moved into Pangea or whatever that. What's that? Pandora. Sorry.
Pangea.
Pangea. Sorry.
Awesome.
Dinosaurs. How he's just living in Pandora for the rest of his life, but he's apparently doing something other than an Avatar sequel. Is that the skinny there, Brian?
Yeah, I think so. He had a few films that he kept saying, "Yeah, I'm going to make this. I'm going to make this," and it didn't look like he ever was going to get around to it. Post Titanic,
Yeah.
where he was just making these documentaries and deep sea diving for a while.
I know.
But he had a film he kept talking about called Battle Angel, and it sounds like that he will be moving forward with that in the year 2017, which I guess will be about the time he's in post-production on Avatar 3.
Avatar 3.
So that's cool. Avatar 3, yeah. Let's back up.
That's not.
Now
Let's unpackage that one. So we have 2 more Avatar films to go before we get to see him make.
Make something else which I don't have any interest in.
Oh, you know what? I'm going to go. I'm going to see Avatar 2. I'm going to see Avatar 3. They're going to be beautiful, and I'm going to enjoy it, and I won't watch them again, and then I'll be like, okay, make Battle Angel.
Which will also be beautiful and engaging, and I'll never watch again.
Well, I don't know. I'm ready. I want to see him make another non-Avatar movie. He makes great
He does,
movies.
yeah.
That's how we've lowered the bar at this point. Just
So.
do something that isn't the Na'vi. That's
Yeah,
all.
I mean, I don't even, and that's no slam against Avatar 1. I'm glad he made it, and I think it's a interesting movie, and it, part of his catalog. And then I want to go see him. Is people joke a lot about his ego and stuff, but he's really damn good.
Yeah.
So I want to see him tell another story.
Yeah. I don't get this guy. I mean, I don't want to see another Avatar movie. So I'm already behind the 8 ball because I'm done with it. And I don't know anyone who does. I've said this before on this show. Even fans of the first movie, I don't know anyone who's like, I can't wait for the second Avatar.
Yeah.
The one thing I will say, I read an interview with Cameron just recently where he was talking about how he started the 3D trend, and he was criticizing how every movie is in 3D now.
Right. Yeah, he was its biggest proponent for a while there.
Right. Well, and specifically, he said, movies like Iron Man 3 and Man of Steel don't need to be in 3D.
Those are exactly the movies, if you were in support of 3D, that you would say it should be in 3D.
Right.
What does he think? The way back should be in 3D?
Well, yeah, because you really want to feel like you're sitting there on the beach
Yeah.
with Sam Rockwell.
Experiencing this young man's journey.
Exactly. Well, I think his point with Man of Steel and Iron Man 3, I don't necessarily disagree, is like, he's like, it's already going to look spectacular.
So he's saying Avatar needed 3D because it wasn't spectacular looking enough?
I'm not confused.
Well, I mean, to be fair, the 3D of Avatar was a big selling point.
Absolutely.
Whereas I don't think the 3D of either Iron Man 3 or Man of Steel was a selling point. Right?
Yeah. Yeah, I do agree. I mean, it is just a cash grab. See, that's the thing, is I'm on the other side of the coin where I don't really see the point of it anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I other than Avatar, I haven't really experienced immersive 3D anyway.
Yeah.
Pacific Rim. Did you see it in 3D?
No. I don't want to sound like one of those 3D haters either,
Yeah.
because I don't care. But I did avoid the 3D screening. I picked a time that was not 3D.
Yeah, that's the same with me. Yeah. Well, we'll talk about Pacific Rim in just a second, but very quickly, let's talk up some trailers.
Trailers, yeah.
All right.
All right, first up, this is a movie that we talked about a few weeks ago when it was getting lambasted by critics, but it is apparently being released. It's the new Lindsay Lohan movie called The Canyons, co-starring James Dean. That's Deen. Let's play some of the audio from this, and then we can
Earmuffs,
unpack it.
children.
That's right.
Okay, tell me something. Do you really like movies? Really, really like movies? When's the last time you went to see a movie in a theater? You know, a movie that you really thought meant something to you. I don't know. You know, I guess maybe it's just not my thing anymore.
I like making my own movies. What do you mean you make your own movies?
I guess I'd like to keep some parts of my life private.
Nobody has a private life anymore, Tara. All actors, only.
Okay, so what do we think of that there, Sean?
Who cares?
Okay, so there's Sean's 2-word answer.
Seriously, the only reason anybody would be even mildly interested in this movie is because it's Lindsay Lohan in some hardcore orgy scene.
Yeah.
But even naked sex having Lindsay Lohan wasn't enough for studios to get behind this movie and want to distribute it. That should tell you what a piece of garbage this movie probably is.
Yeah, I mean, this movie's sort of notorious.
Yeah.
Where it had that whole piece. Was that New York Times?
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, where it had some reporter sort of hanging out on set and just observing all the chaos that was going on.
Yeah, Paul Schrader just like disintegrating.
Yeah.
Yeah, so for me personally, I mean, the only point of interest with this movie is sort of that piece. I mean, this seems just sort of like a curiosity more than anything.
Yeah.
And it doesn't really look like a film I actually care about. It doesn't look like I'll say this about the trailer. Whoever cut the trailer did a good job because it doesn't look like the mess I expected it to. But I don't really have much interest in it.
You know, one thing I'm going to say is that whenever the press junket or whatever for this movie is going on, you can just that more than Lindsay Lohan, James Dean is going to get interview requests.
Oh, for sure, because they want him to dish.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
I feel bad for this guy, and I never thought I'd feel bad for a male porn star. But I mean, just reading what this guy went through on this movie, I think at the end of it, he's like, I just want to go back to porn, where
good
things
old
are
clean,
simple, they
clean,
make sense.
old-fashioned porn, yeah.
Yeah, good old-fashioned porn, you know. I think it's fascinating how Lindsay Lohan cannot get out of her own way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean that's the only it's like this woman has been given every opportunity to succeed.
Every 6th, 7th, 8th chance.
Yeah.
I mean, it's unreal. It's like your life is not hard, you know?
Right.
And by the way, let me just say this is like a total actor thing when you always hear about so and so collapsed from exhaustion.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Right? It's like you don't hear about like ditch diggers collapsing from exhaustion.
Right. No. Exhaustion is a lie.
Yes.
If you ever hear anyone is suffering from exhaustion, any celebrity, it's not
drugs.
the real story, of course.
It's anything but exhaustion.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've redefined that word downward, which is the problem.
You know, this movie, you guys think this movie is going to be this generation's Showgirls?
Ooh. Could be. Could be like one of those party movies. I was hoping it would be this generation's Glitter.
Glitter belongs to every generation, Zaki.
It belongs to the world, to the times, to time immemorial. Speaking of time immemorial, we have Vince Vaughn with his new movie, which is called Delivery Man. And let's play some of the audio from this quote-unquote comedy.
In my life, I have a tendency to make very bad decisions.
David, I don't want a boyfriend who just disappears because he's too busy. You're unreliable. You have brought me such beautiful flowers.
Yes, I did. Maybe that's why I've been stuck in the same job for so long.
You're 3 hours late, man.
You know, David, I love you like a son. I am your son. Everyone has a purpose in life. I guess I just haven't found mine yet.
David Wozniak. In 1994, you donated to a fertility clinic anonymously. Apparently, there was a mix-up at the clinic. What? You were the biological father of 533 children. What?
All right. So I'm not impressed by anything I see with this movie.
Really? Oh, I really like the trailer.
Really?
This is the most current one, right?
Yeah,
There's
the
two
most
of
recent.
them.
Sean,
Yeah.
Sean, you liked it too, right?
Well, yes and no. I liked seeing Vince Vaughn sort of in something else other than these lazy comedies that he's been doing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I kept thinking, like, if this movie was made 10 years ago, it would star Nicolas Cage and Téa Leoni. Like, it just feels like that movie that's, like, sort of a comedy, sort of a drama. It's this actor that's...
I have 500 kids.
Sort of funny,
I
sort
have
of...
to find them. I need to be the father that they never had. And then Téa Leoni's like, you want to be, their father?
Well, Vince
That's
Vaughn,
my Téa Leoni. It's a bad Téa Leoni.
It's a good impression. I still, it never ceases to amaze me that Vince Vaughn just looks old now, and it's really weird for me that he looks.
Well, he looks old and portly.
Yeah, he looks like he had a rough night. He always looks like he had a rough night. Well, you know, this is based on a Canadian movie called Starbuck that I've heard is really good.
Really,
And
I
I've been
didn't
trying
know
to-
that actually.
Yeah, it was a really popular film from what I understand and well regarded.
Oh wow!
So people were a little like why not just watch that movie rather than
Right.
remake it? And
The
when I saw
Vince
the first
Vaughn
trailer, yeah, I don't know. The first trailer didn't do much for me. I felt like, okay, yeah, kind of Vince Vaughn,
Right.
like, what? How many kids? But this second trailer, I guess the sort of more touching moments, that's what hooked me in. I was like, oh, I could see this being kind of a
Let me
nice
ask you this
film.
though. Speaking of the trailer, I think we're all in agreement now that trailers that get cut these days, like it's pretty easy to figure out what's going to happen in a movie based on the trailer.
Yeah, unfortunately.
And I think that they give way too much away
Yeah.
with trailers nowadays. However, with this movie, like, it's going to be, you're going to have your moments where it's like, okay, Vince Vaughn is a slacker, and then he learns not to be a slacker, and he learns to grow up and take responsibility for his life, and blah blah blah. But I kept thinking, like, the stuff with all the different kids, and they allude to the fact in the trailer that a lot of the kids get together at one point.
Mm-hmm.
I just kept thinking, where are you gonna go with that? Like, that's the part that interests me.
How's
the
it going
most,
to end?
actually.
Yeah.
They form a hockey team. That's the end is a big hockey game,
Yeah.
and if they win, it's proof that they love Vince Vaughn.
Yeah.
That's how it all pans out. And it's actually divided, so it's like half his kids versus half his kids. So we find out which of his kids love him. Yeah, I can see that happening.
Very clever.
Yeah.
Now I don't need to see
I mean,
it. Thanks, Zaki.
We need more climactic hockey games. That's my prescription for Hollywood. Lastly, in trailer talk, we have the Lego movie.
Lego my ego.
No, Lego my Lego, you mean.
Hello, I'm Emmett. I'm just going to come right out. I have no idea what's going on at all.
My fellow master builders, including but not limited to Superman, Wonder Woman, The Mermaid, Green Ninja, 1980-something Space Guy, Michelangelo, and the 2002 NBA All-Stars. We have learned that Lord Business plans to end the world as we know it. There is yet one hope. The special has arisen.
I think I got it, but just in case, tell me the whole thing again. I wasn't listening.
So, I'm still confused at the idea that we take blocks, and the whole purpose is to just they're a toy that you use to make other toys, and we've turned them into this like a movie. You know what I mean? To me, it's like, let's do Lincoln Logs, the movie.
You got to give it.
Said, I thought this looked awesome.
Yeah, I was gonna say you got to hand it to
looks
Lego
fun.
for turning their brand into what they have. I mean, all these video games,
Yeah.
and cartoons, and I mean, they've done an amazing
TV
job.
show,
They're just blocks, and look what they've done.
The video games are a good example, right? Where you have Lego Indiana Jones.
Yeah,
So you play a video game of the Lego blocks in the shape of Indiana Jones.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, well, why not eliminate the middleman and just play with the Lego Indiana
Make
Jones?
an Indiana Jones game. But I think what's interesting about this movie is the fact that because they have, the licenses for Batman and Ninja Turtles, and I mean, there's no limit to what this movie could be in a way.
Right.
So, whatever the story is, I mean, that's sort of interesting.
Yeah.
I had heard about this movie a while back because a friend of mine went and saw like a preview screening of it, and he loved it.
Oh, really?
He took his son. Yeah, he took his son who's 10 years old, and he said they both were just cracking up the whole way through.
Really?
Right.
So I sort of had positive thoughts toward this movie before I saw the trailer, and the trailer, I was like, okay, like I sort of get it now. This guy on a journey, and there's going to be all these things around him. But I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to say that it got me super amped for it.
Right.
But it looks cute. Looks like it could be fun.
I like the fact that it looked like it was stop motion too.
Yeah, that was kind of cool, wasn't it? It had this little jittery quality to it.
Well, I mean, I love the pitch that like this regular guy has to team up with a magician and a princess and Batman.
Right.
I mean,
yeah.
And they got a great cast, that's for sure. I mean, geez, Liam Neeson and Morgan Freeman is in there.
Will Arnett, Will Ferrell.
Yeah.
Alison Brie, although it seems like a waste to have Alison Brie playing a Lego. It seems like not really using her assets to their fullest. But that's just me.
It cracked me up in the trailer when they were doing the roll call.
Yeah.
And he's like, Michelangelo, and it showed the artist, and he's like, Michelangelo and the Ninja Turtle.
That's right. Yeah, I'll check it out. I agree that it looks fun, but I also I'm just it seems like an outgrowth of the same tendency of like turning board games into movies.
It's directed by the guy who did Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs.
Oh, that's
which
right.
I loved.
Yeah,
I thought
really
that was
loved
awesome.
that
He also did 21 Jump Street. Phil Lord.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. So
I was just watching that earlier today too. All right, so trailer talk is done, and that means that we have now hit the spoiler wall. And the spoiler wall.
Spoiler wall.
Yeah, exactly. See, that should be the slogan for that.
And then like a doink, ow!
Spoiler wall has become a regular feature on this show, especially since the summer started. And this week, on the other end of the spoiler wall, we talk about Pacific Rim. But
wait, Pacific. I thought it was called Specific
Rim.
Oh no!
What kind of movie would Specific Rim be? I think it would star James Dean.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a butt joke.
Yes, it is.
I get it.
We do that occasionally here. Okay, so before we cross the spoiler wall, Brian, your thoughts on Pacific Rim? Your non-spoiler thoughts?
Big dumb fun.
Big dumb fun. Okay.
Big dumb fun. I think I was. This was one of those things. I was sort of fascinated on the internet where people were just ready for this to be the movie of the year.
Yeah. And it is not that.
I was not understanding that at all.
Right.
And so I think I was feeling like I wasn't going to like it at all. Like, okay, you guys can go have fun with that. I'm not really interested.
Right.
And I ended up, I had a really fun time with it.
Overall, I enjoyed it, although I had some issues with
Sure.
with a lot of the structure of the plot. So let's talk about that on the other side. There, that's us crossing the spoiler.
Nice.
Don't leave me behind. No.
Sorry, Sean. See, folks, you can't see this. We get the benefit of seeing Sean drift away from the camera. This is what you miss when you don't watch us.
Do we have
record
viewers?
live.
Do we have a live audience today?
We have one person watching. Hello.
Hey.
Hello out there.
Please don't go.
I know. Don't leave us. So, Pacific Rim is directed by Guillermo del Toro, and it's his tribute, apparently, to the Japanese anime cartoons that he grew up watching with giant robots fighting giant monsters. And that is the plot of the movie. That
is evident.
That's pretty much it. It's giant robots fighting
Yeah.
giant monsters.
Yeah.
There's 15 minutes of exposition in the beginning that explains the whole scenario and everything.
Yeah.
And it's almost unnecessary. because you could have just dove in with showing the kaiju, which is the monsters fighting the Jaegers. I will say that Guillermo del Toro has, if you look at his films, and you can look at like Mimic and the Hellboy movies, Blade 2, he has a tendency for very specific, gross-looking creatures. And if you notice, they all kind of look the same because they all have these gross, tendrily tongues that stick out in all kinds of directions. Like his monsters all kind of look similar, not the same, but similar.
And I hadn't put that together, but I do know what you're saying.
Yeah, like I mean, if you watch the monsters in Hellboy, if you blow them up, they would blow them up in size. They would look like the kaijus in this movie. You know,
right.
Yeah.
So the special effects are just amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a true theatrical experience.
Yeah, I was ready for, when you see a movie where you know there's this amount of visual effects going on, I'm expecting for most of it to look kind of video gamey, which is good but not good enough for me to go to the theater for.
Yeah.
Right.
But no, this looked really, really good. And there's a lot of fights that happen in the streets of Japan, and they're smashing through buildings, and it looks good.
Is it overwhelming, like how Transformers was sort of overwhelming?
No, you can actually tell what's going on.
You can.
It's a really interesting style choice.
Yeah, with style choice. He made a choice to make it comprehensible.
Yeah,
amazing.
And I really appreciated that.
That being said, Brian, this had a story that was painfully predictable.
This is the hokiest story of the summer, no doubt.
Well, and not no just and I tweeted that it's, we were just talking about Avatar. It is like Avatar, where it's just visually rich and it's this amazing bravura filmmaking turn, but it is the most hackneyed story of all time.
Yes.
And
yes, it reminded me a little bit of Independence Day.
Independence Day, absolutely. That's what I said. I said that if you smushed Avatar and Independence Day, you've got Pacific Rim.
Yeah, but it's so hard to explain because I really dug this movie and I thought it was fun, but it's like a carbon copy of Independence Day, which itself is sort of a carbon copy of
every other movie
of cliches.
Yeah,
I mean, our theater was laughing at all the cliches that came out of these people's mouths.
I mean, we got to talk about Charlie Hunnam, who is the lead.
Yes, the lead character. I told my brother, I leaned over to him during the screening and I said, I didn't think anyone could out Sam Worthington.
It's true. I turned next to me in the theater and I was like, this guy sucks. And I was watching by myself, so it was just awkward because there was nobody sitting next to me. He was terrible, in my opinion. Like, he was, what I wrote on Facebook was, he was distractingly bad.
Yeah.
What is he from? What did he do before this?
He's on Sons of Anarchy.
Sons of Anarchy.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean,
he clearly doesn't have an American accent.
Right.
I don't know. I'm not sure what he is, but he's like, I've heard this. I say this every week. I feel like I heard this somewhere else, and I can't credit them because I don't remember who it was. But they were complaining about Ewan McGregor's American accent, where it sounds like an alien trying to imitate what they've heard is an American accent, like a "Hello there, welcome to Montana,"
which is Gerard Butler also.
Gerard Butler, and that's Charlie Hunnam here.
He
also.
Totally. Oh my God. So, and part of it is not his fault because he's given nothing to play other than generic action hero guy. And actually, and I don't have her name in front of me. I'll have to look it up. But the woman who's his love interest, or his
what's her name? Rinko Kikuchi.
Yeah, she was terrible too, in my opinion. So
yeah, I guess I don't know. She didn't stand out to me so much. I thought she was fine. I mean, in measuring this film against itself, let's say.
Okay. I think
and measuring this film against itself, Charlie Hunnam was not very good. So,
I mean, I think every time Idris Elba is on screen, you're like, man, like he's just awesome.
He is awesome.
And the test of his awesomeness is he's able to take these horrible cliched lines and make them sound cool, you know?
Yeah.
Cut.
You know who the best actor in the entire movie was?
Who's that?
That little girl.
Oh yeah, she was great.
From The Memory.
Yeah,
What's her
yeah.
name? Mako. Mako as a little girl.
Yeah, yeah.
That little girl. I mean, I'm not exaggerating. She was phenomenal.
She was great. I totally agree. I was thinking that as I was watching, I was like, wow, this kid is really, really solid. You know.
Yeah.
But it feels like Idris Elba and Ron Perlman are kind of like on another plane.
Yeah, yeah. And what'd you think of Charlie Day?
I like Charlie Day. I could have done with a little less Charlie Day in this movie.
I'm kind of with you on that. I mean, I really like him. Like, I'm a big fan of his.
Oh, yeah.
He cracks me up. And I thought he had a lot of good, funny moments in this movie also. But I feel like they let it go a little too far sometimes.
Yeah, well, and I didn't like the other scientist. Charlie Day, Sean, plays this character called Newt, he's like the guy who does the research on the Jaegers or on the kaijus, and so he figures out the big secret and blah blah blah, and his counterpart is this other. They're kind of like a C-3PO R2-D2 type relationship almost.
Totally.
And the other guy just annoyed the piss out of me. I don't know.
He's very much a character from a Roland Emmerich movie, though.
Right. That totally.
Like some
That's
weird
funny that you say that because I was thinking
British
of like Brent Spiner in
character.
Independence Day.
Oh yeah.
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 Yeah. But yeah, those guys, their whole plot is the fact that here we should say the way that they operate these machines, they have to link in mentally with them.
Yeah. With each
their
other,
limbs,
with the machine.
Well, that's just it. It's too much for one person to handle,
Right.
So they have to use two people, and they have to neurally link with one another, so their minds are like melded, and so that works out for the pilots. But then they actually have a bit of one of the creatures, the kaiju's brains,
right?
And the scientist decides that he wants to mentally link with the brain to try to understand them better, which I thought was a cool idea.
It was. I agree. And it paid off pretty well.
Yeah,
I mean that's the thing is the universe that they've created is very, very interesting.
Yes,
it just so happens that the characters within that universe are absolutely dull and uninteresting.
But they're on their way to being interesting, because there was a moment where after the initial action, you spend quite a bit of time in this facility with these characters,
right?
And I found myself, invested as much as you can with this movie. And there is a version of this movie with a couple more drafts, I suppose, where it gets a little richer. And I would have liked that, I'm sure. But for what it was,
yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna hate on it, because I mean, at the end of the day, I think it's a visual spectacle. It's absolutely worth seeing. But man, I mean, it's just, Brian, there's that other Jaeger pilot who's like a douchebag.
Yeah,
they could have had like Carrie Elwes
basically
play him in the 80s.
Yeah, totally.
You know what I mean?
Totally.
Because it's like what that guy's arc is going to be.
Yeah.
Like as soon as you meet him and then you get a little background on him, you're like, okay, this is probably what's going to happen with that guy.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, I feel bad, Sean, spoiling these things. I hope this isn't.
Oh no, I'm not going to see it anytime soon. So go ahead.
All right. Well, basically, this is the sort of movie where a character will be like, "Oh man, I can't pilot one of these things one more time; it'll kill me." What do you think that guy's gonna do? I mean, that's what this movie is like.
That's literally exactly it. Yeah.
But where Lone Ranger, for some reason, felt like it had to be this subversive movie, when I really just wanted it to be about a hero. This movie was like no subversion or irony. It was just like, no, man, like these guys are heroes, and they say heroic stuff to each other, and they kick monster butt. Like there was just no irreverence to it.
But
like it
but
took
balls,
itself.
I'm not going to compare it to Lone Ranger. It's just they're just too different. You know what I mean?
No, not comparing them at all. But I'm saying this movie knew what it was.
Okay,
and what we wanted it to be.
Yeah, I see
and
what
it
you're saying.
was.
Now,
and I mean, there's a moment, and it knows it's silly too, because there's a moment where a robot is punching through a building, and it goes just far enough to hit one of those office desk click clack things with like the 5 balls,
The perpetual motion.
stuff just in time to hit it, and then they start clacking. I was dying. It was just like the director, like, no, remember, like, this is fun. Like, don't take this seriously. This is fun.
Now, it's looking like Pacific Rim is going to do pretty well for the weekend.
Yeah, they're saying possibly 50 million, right?
Yeah, well, it's looking like Despicable Me 2 is still going to be number 1 for the weekend, so Pacific Rim would come just under that.
Mm-hmm.
But looking like about 45 million,
mm-hmm.
which is pretty impressive. I mean, all things considered, because it's a brand new.
Yeah,
film.
and that was another thing that I realized about 15 minutes in. I mean, Idris Elba and a couple people aside, I mean, there were really no stars in this movie.
Well, the stars are the effects.
Yeah,
right.
Which is, I sort of realized it. I not that I was looking down on it, but I was like, oh wow, this. It does almost make it feel like less of an event, sort of. You know what I mean? Like, this movie is a couple steps removed from being a sci-fi channel movie.
Right. Well, they just
you know what I mean? But
they needed the Sharknado.
But the effects are so grand, and I mean, yeah, I don't know. I mean, if you stuck Brad Pitt in this movie, all of a sudden it's a different movie. You know what I mean?
Well, the acting would have improved in the lead role at the very least. Now, as always with these movies, immediately once it does even a little bit well, we start talking about sequels. Do you want to see a sequel to this movie?
I don't really care. I mean, I had my fun with it. I don't feel.
Yeah.
I mean, what am I going to see? Just like more smashy.
I was thinking the same thing. I was thinking that as I was watching it, I was like, because Guillermo del Toro is like, oh yeah, in part 2 we're going to do blah blah blah, and I'm like, dude, I'm done. I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good.
I've
good.
had my fill of this particular. I mean, the one thing I will say is that assuming it does do well, you're gonna. My prediction is you see a Voltron movie in like 2 years.
I hope so.
They've tried.
You're hoping for a Voltron movie?
Yeah, I'd like to see one done right, for sure.
I actually never watched Voltron as a kid, so I don't have a huge amount of attachment to that. What I would love to see is Robotech.
See, yeah, I watched Voltron. I didn't watch Robotech.
Well, that is why we are now enemies. Now, while we're on this side of the spoiler wall, I wanted to make sure we talked about Grown Ups 2.
Really?
Grown Ups 2? No, nobody.
No,
nobody. I'm totally kidding. I didn't see it. Grown Ups 2 has, by the way, on Rotten Tomatoes, a 5% rating on Rotten Tomatoes.
Wow.
Which makes me feel better about how Lone Ranger has been treated, if nothing else.
What are some movies that you are looking forward to? Not necessarily end of summer, but just this coming out the rest of this year. Like, give me three or four movies that you're looking forward to.
Well, I'm looking forward to Elysium.
Me too. I am.
I am
as
August.
Yeah. Elysium. I'm still looking forward to the Wolverine. I'm hoping that's going to be good. Two Guns. I'm looking forward to.
Two Guns. Yeah, that's in a couple of weeks, right? Beginning of August.
Yeah, in August. And the Canyons.
World's End, not the Canyons.
and the World's End. The World's End, exactly.
Sure.
So there's a few. I mean we're now segueing into the fall, and obviously fall movies are very different.
Yep.
But it does feel kind of like, I guess the big part of the summer is over. Like another summer season is passing us by.
Yeah.
But as we do each and every week, we try to end things off with the movie film quiz.
Oh, yeah.
Brian, I think you're on deck to dole out the questions.
You're going down, Hassan.
Well,
you're going to be dishing out.
I was trying to think what to theme this quiz, and in light of Pacific Rim, it's going to be about robots.
Oh.
Excellent.
So, I suppose we should avoid robot avatars because they might be the answer to some questions.
Touché.
But let's say, what should we go with avatars?
How about characters from Avatar?
Okay. Okay, yeah, there you go.
I'm going to be Jake Sully.
Jake Sully. Yeah.
I couldn't name you one character from that movie.
You can be Zoe Saldana. Ready?
Okay, I'll be Zoe.
Zoe
Saldana.
Okay. Question 1. In what movie did the first robot appear on film?
Jake Sully.
Yes.
Metropolis.
That's right.
Ah,
The robot's
good.
name was Maria, and that was in the year 1926.
See, I'm glad you didn't ask the name because I wouldn't have known that.
Yeah. All right, question 2. On what show did a robot character say, "Danger, Will Robinson"?
Jake Sully.
I didn't remember what my
That was
avatar
Lost in
was.
Space.
Lost in Space. Damn it.
Lost in Space.
I didn't remember what my
I
avatar
said
was.
Metropolis, so I forgot my avatar too. That's how forgettable Avatar is.
Interesting tidbit, the theme song to that show was composed by John Williams.
Yeah, that's right.
He's credited as Johnny Williams.
Johnny Williams, because he was a jazz musician. He actually did the music for all of the Irwin Allen TV shows.
Oh, wow.
So The Time Tunnel and Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea, Land of the Giants, Land of the Midgets, which was less successful.
Which is less successful. Okay. Question 3. Which of any and all movie robots would I most like to be friends
Zoe
with?
Saldana.
Sean.
Johnny 5.
That's right. If I could be friends with any robot from films, it would be Johnny 5.
Nice.
Question 4. Though there are many references to Jurassic Park, which film is the Simpsons episode the family
Zoe
visits
Saldana.
Itchy and Scratchy Land in? Wait, Zoe Saldana, I heard that. Is that Sean?
Yeah.
Okay. Though there are references to Jurassic Park, the Itchy and Scratchy
Jake
Land,
Sully.
Itchy and Scratchy Land episode, I'm going to say The Terminator.
Jake Sully.
Zaki?
Westworld.
Westworld.
I didn't
Which, aside from the Jurassic Park references, which are a lot of them, which film is the Simpsons episode where they visit Itchy and Scratchy Land based on, which is Westworld, where a robotic Yul Brynner goes haywire.
That's right.
And Westworld was written and directed by Michael Crichton.
Michael Crichton. He ripped himself off.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, literally, he's like, what if I did Westworld with dinosaurs?
Yeah.
It's like if Barry Sonnenfeld did R.I.P.D.
You know, never mind. All right, I saw the R.I.P.D. trailer again, and I was thinking of. I mean, you just cannot not think of Men in Black. But I think what makes it worse is the fact that the dead people look exactly like the aliens from Men in Black.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Like they don't even look like dead people.
They don't exactly. They've got like multiple eyes and all this stuff, right?
Which makes absolutely no sense. I mean, if they looked like the guy from Scrooged. Remember his mentor?
Yeah.
He was like crumbly guy. Like that would be cool.
Or like the ghost from the Frighteners or something. Yeah.
Exactly. So.
Well,
all right,
by the way, did you see the trailer for The Seventh Son?
No.
Yeah, that's the new movie with Jeff Bridges in it.
Oh, I saw the poster where it looks like a Highlander movie based on the poster. Yeah.
Yeah, he plays the mentor to the young guy.
No.
You know, like R.I.P.D.
Oh, does he have a scraggly beard? And
he does.
Does he really?
He does. And he has a funny accent.
Oh my gosh, he's cornered the market on that now.
I know.
He's like, no, yeah, I just finished making True Grit 3, and they're like, Jeff.
I think after Iron Man 1, when he shaved his head, he's like, I'm never shaving my head again.
Yeah.
Anyway, go ahead, Brian. Sorry.
All right, last question. Which Disney film features a robot named Vincent?
Brian, Jake Sully. Black Hole.
The Black Hole.
Yeah.
Never saw The Black Hole.
Yeah, that was their 1979 answer to Star Wars. And it was a very, very expensive disaster.
You know who the voice of Vincent is?
No.
Roddy McDowell.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's interesting. You know, I wouldn't recommend watching it now. I watched it when I was a kid, and I liked it. And then I rewatched it a couple years back. And it was interesting to sort of revisit it and see it as an adult. But I don't really think it's worth watching.
It's not very good, Brian, but here's what I'll say. I applaud Disney for doing something just friggin' bananas.
Oh, yeah. I kind of like it still. I'm just saying for people who are like, oh, this is this cool movie I haven't seen I should check out. Not necessarily.
Well, the ending, I love the fact that the ending of The Black Hole is like this descent into Dante's Inferno.
Yeah.
And, it's a Disney movie. You know what I mean?
I mean, speaking of Lone Ranger being sort of scary or violent, at least for kids, this movie is, there's like zombie people and
It's right, exactly. I mean,
and there's that robot Maximilian who's got the blades for hands, and he like goes over to
kills Anthony Perkins.
I think it is, and he like holds up like a board to stop him, but the blade goes through the board and kills him.
Wow, crazy.
Dude, I remember seeing that as a kid because he's trying to escape. He holds up the board and the blades are like, and he's like, and I'm like, oh my god, what's happening?
That robot was cool.
He was cool. By the way, I'd like to say that we're being watched online by Eject2218.
Right.
And he asks, can I touch all of you?
Yes.
And the answer is yes,
Touch.
of course you can. Touch. Sean first. So, Brian, is that all of the questions?
That's it. Zaki, again, man, you were just a powerhouse with the quizzes.
So, next time, Sean will be dispensing the questions to me and Brian.
Does it really matter?
It does matter.
It has to
does
matter.
It must matter. So next episode will be our big 1-year anniversary episode. So we have lots of fun and frivolity planned to celebrate that. Actually, we don't have anything planned, but we'll figure something out between now and then.
Yeah.
We have another Eject2218 said thanks. So
you're welcome.
Yes, that's very nice. All right, Brian, where can people find you online?
At everythingbrian.blogspot.com, Brian with an I.
By the way, Brian, I don't think you get to promote your blog anymore until you actually contribute to your blog.
Okay, so how about this? I have not written anything on the blog in a while, but I did post a new little short film that I made. If you go to YouTube and you put in B Hall 789 and Coffee Break, you'll see a little short film I made about a week ago. So check that out.
It's great, too. Yeah, it's really fun.
It's very funny. I do recommend that. And I would say that even if I'm not talking to Brian right now and he can't see my face. It's a good film. What about you, Sean? Where can people find you?
You can find me at moosehub.com, and can find all of us at MrBoyProductions.com and Facebook.com/MovieFilmPodcast, MovieFilmPodcast.com.
And by the way, be sure to check out Sean's ebook, Animal ABCs.
Yes, thanks very much. Have you checked it out yet, Zaki?
It's fun.
You're lying.
That's all. Well, I mean, I don't have anything to add about the content because it's the ABCs. I love your art, though. I will say that I always enjoy your artwork.
Did you really buy it?
Yes.
Last time you hadn't bought it yet, so I'm asking if you bought it.
That was 2 weeks ago. Things
Right.
change.
Right.
By the way, Brian, I have not yet seen Now You See Me.
On a related
Nothing's changed on that front. But,
yeah.
Fair. Thanks for the plug. Animal ABCs.
Yeah.
Check it out on iTunes and Amazon Kindle store.
There you go. And,
The
of
end.
course, you can find me at zakiscorner.com. That's ZAKIS corner.com, as well as at the Huffington Post, where my review of Pacific Rim should be up shortly. Also, be sure to send us email at moviefilmpodcast@gmail.com, and also you can write us comments via our Facebook page, which Sean already mentioned. That brings us to the end of another episode of the Movie Film Podcast. This is episode 26. We will see you for episode 27 in 2 weeks. My name is Zaki Hassan, and on behalf of Brian Hall and Sean Coyle, we will see you soon.
Welcome